How about we play a little game, a dangerous detective game? To get to the next level, you'll need to do your best at the previous one. So let's see how powerful your analytic powers are. The first level isn't too hard. You'll need to choose the correct answer among the suggested options. Here we go! Look at this image. Your first task is to figure out which of these students is cheating on the exam. This girl rummaging in her bag? This thoughtful guy on the left? The red-headed guy in the back? Or this know-it-all? And the correct answer is C. The girl might just be looking for a pen in her bag, but the ceiling is reflective, and the red-haired guy is trying to see the answers of the boy sitting in front of him. The next one for you. Look at these people. Who is a ghost? This young man in torn clothes? Or perhaps this man with creepy stains? Maybe the lady with scratches on her face? Or this weirdly pale boy? And the correct answer is C again. Have you noticed that the woman's arm is kind of twisted? But she doesn't seem to be bothered by this fact. So she must be the ghost we need. Now, you need to spot a fake nurse. Be very attentive, or this play pretend may end in tragedy. Is it this woman with a stain on her scrubs? Maybe it's this smiley nurse. Or is it the nurse in the middle? The correct answer is B. This lady looks very cheerful, that's true. But are those vampire fangs in her mouth? This time, you gotta spot a superhero among the regular supermarket customers. Pay very close attention to every single detail. Maybe it's this strong woman. Or this muscular man. Perhaps this teenager. There might be more to this man than meets the eye. And the superhero is actually the teenager. Have you noticed that mask sticking out of his bag? Good for you! So the correct answer is C. And the last riddle of this level. You need to figure out which of these people is an extraterrestrial visitor. Is it this young lady? Or this scientist conducting eerie experiments? It might be this young lady with weird hair. Perhaps it's this unfriendly man. The correct answer is D. His black mustache doesn't match his white beard. Plus, there's something weird going on with his glasses, see? No temples and earpieces. Now, if you have at least 3 right answers, you can proceed to level 2. Good job! Now, you need to figure out the answers without any hints. No options to choose from. Look at this elderly lady. How cute! She must definitely love her pets. A bit too much, I'd say. Otherwise, she might have noticed something weird going on with one of them. What do I mean? This cat is very suspicious. It has a dog's tail. One of the people invited to this party is a thief. Can you turn on your inner detective and catch the criminal? Here he is, trying to snatch a bracelet from this woman's wrist. This picture is truly idyllic, until you look closer. Then you'll realize that something is spoiling this perfect image. Can you figure out what it is? First of all, the man's cup is turned upside down, and, for some bizarre reason, he still pretends to be drinking out of it. And secondly, look at the woman. She's pouring orange juice into her glass, but it's filling with something red. Ooh, we've got some pretty dedicated gamers here. But I'll say they must have been playing for too long already. There's something wrong with both of them. Take a look. The guy on the right has put his hoodie on in the wrong way. The hood is in the front, duh. And the guy on the left is holding the controller incorrectly. A true professional, LOL. And the toughest of them all, this time you'll have to crack real detective riddles. Detective Andrea decided to have a meal at a cafe. But as she came closer, she saw a crying lady. The woman explained that when she had been crossing the road, some woman had grabbed her bag and rushed into the cafe. The detective and the woman entered the cafe. The lady recognized her bag. It was right between two women. But she couldn't recognize the one who had taken it since she hadn't had time to look at her carefully. Andrea didn't need much time to figure out which woman was guilty. How about you? If we face the woman, the thief is the one on the right. The woman on the left has her left arm in a cast. If she had taken the purse, she'd have to put it on the right side of herself. Lucas was a talented architect who designed a unique skyscraper. The construction works were starting, and his boss asked the guy to show the site to a group of specialists from a competitor company. The only condition was that they weren't allowed to take any photos. When the group was going to leave, Lucas asked the security to detain one man. The architect claimed he had been taking photos during the tour around the site. How did he understand it? The man was carrying an umbrella. He kept pointing it at different objects, asking lots of questions. But the sky was cloudless. He actually didn't need the umbrella. A camera must be hidden inside. Ellis called her friend, Detective Evelyn Brown, and asked her to come as soon as possible. While the woman was away walking with her dog, someone had gotten into her house and stolen her laptop. Ellis was sure it was her neighbor, John. Evelyn went to question the man, but he wasn't at home. She decided to wait for him in her car. Soon, she saw John opening his door. It turned out he had gone fishing early in the morning and had just arrived. Evelyn didn't believe John and took him to the police station. Why? The guy is wearing white sneakers. But look at the puddles. It must have been raining since early morning. If he was out fishing, why do his shoes look so clean? Mrs. White claimed that her neighbor, Mrs. Black, had stolen her laundry. The woman said she had hung the laundry in her backyard at 10 a.m. And when she went out of the house 2 hours later, she saw Mrs. Black put the clothes in her bag. The other woman denied these accusations. Strangely, the police officer Mrs. White called detained her for trying to slander her neighbor. How did the detective figure out that Mrs. White was lying? It's freezing outside and there's snow on the roofs. Within 2 hours, damp laundry would have been so frozen it would have been impossible to fold it and put it in a bag. And the last riddle for today is a fairy tale one. Long ago, an evil witch took away 3 women and turned them into rose bushes. One of the women, who had children, begged the witch to let her see her family, and the witch agreed. She let the women go home for one night and turned her back into a rose bush the next morning. But the woman's husband followed his wife back. He saw 3 identical rose bushes and suddenly realized which one was his wife. How? The rose bush that was actually his wife didn't have any night dew on its leaves. Olivia here is a young mom, and boy, her life can get pretty hectic. But with your help, I'm sure it's going to get much easier. One day, she came home with a stroller, took off her coat, checked her phone, and went to change her baby, Jordan. Just a minute later, she needed to leave again, but she couldn't find her keys. Wow. Can you help her figure out where they are? I wonder if you noticed that she put them in the stroller pocket while checking her phone. Olivia's baby drinks 5 ounces of baby formula at a time and eats 5 times a day. How much milk should Olivia prepare for 2 days? Ooh, some math. Olivia needs to prepare 50 ounces of milk, which is 5 ounces times 5 times 2 days equals 50 ounces. One day, Olivia put Jordan down to nap, but 10 minutes later, the baby started crying. The woman rushed to the bedroom to see what had happened. Oh no, the pacifier was gone. Olivia searched the crib and the floor, but it was nowhere to be found. Where could it be? Look at the baby's tiny fist. The pacifier is clutched in it. Jordan probably squeezed it while falling asleep. Olivia was washing 8 pairs of baby socks. When she hung them up to dry, she realized 1 sock was missing. How many socks are left? Can you help her count? Now, there are only 15 socks. 8 pairs minus 1 sock equals 15. Perfect. But now, we gotta help Olivia find the missing sock. Can you see it? Yep, it's on the baby's little foot. Olivia must have gotten distracted and put it on Jordan without realizing it. Once, Olivia took Jordan for a walk in the park. There, she saw 2 women with strollers. One of them is a young mom and the other is a nanny. Can you help Olivia figure out who the real mom is? The woman on the right is a nanny. She's holding a planner with the child's schedule, feeding times, naps, walks, activities, stuff like that. The real mom doesn't need any notes because she remembers everything. Or she thinks she does. When Olivia's kid grew a little bit, they got invited to their neighbor's child's birthday party. But when they came there, Olivia saw something very strange. Can you figure out what appeared strange to her? If you've noticed it, you're very observant. The woman seems to be filling the kids' cups with milk. But how is she doing it if the jug is actually empty? Ooh, what if she's an alien? Oops, wrong video. Never mind. One day, Olivia's 10-year-old niece visited them. To treat the kids, the woman cooked delicious pastries and left them on the kitchen table. Suddenly, her phone started ringing and she left the children alone for a minute to answer it. When she came back, one of the pastries was missing. Olivia's niece said it was Jordan who took the pastry, but Olivia didn't believe her. Why? Jordan is too short not only to grab the pastry but to even reach the table. The girl must have eaten the pastry and is now trying to frame the kid. Olivia and Jordan were invited to another birthday party. Look at the food the hosts are treating them with and help the woman figure out which dish is safe for her kid. Well, I wouldn't risk eating this cake. It smells really bad. Flies are resting on these cookies. Luckily, these apples look safe to eat. It's Jordan's first day at a nursery school. Both Olivia and the kid are excited, and they don't want to be late. But here's a problem. There are 3 paths leading to the school building. Please help Olivia choose the best way. The road on the left is blocked by a fallen tree further ahead. The path in the middle has an open maintenance hole, which can lead to an accident. At the same time, the road on the right looks pretty safe. They should pick this route. Olivia and Jordan were on the playground. Jordan was playing in the sand, and Olivia was watching him. Suddenly, the woman realized that one of the kids' toys was missing. It was an orange teddy bear. She looked around and saw only 3 other people around. Can you figure out who took the bear? It was that elderly man. Look, the teddy bear's paw is sticking out of his pocket. Who knows why he took it? Some years later, Olivia left Jordan alone at home for the first time and told him to be a good boy. But when she came back an hour later, she understood that the boy had done something he shouldn't have done. Look at the room attentively and try to figure out what 3 things upset Olivia. First of all, look at those brown crumbs on the floor near the bed. Jordan ate some chocolate cookies. The TV remote is not in the same place as before. The boy must have taken it to switch on the TV and watch cartoons. And finally, he was in a creative mood. Look at that drawing on the wall near the door. Jordan's birthday is around the corner, and the boy asks Olivia to invite his best friend to the party. Olivia is confused. Jordan is a very outgoing kid and has loads of friends. He's especially close to these 3 children. Look at Jordan's room and try to help Olivia figure out which kid is Jordan's best friend. It's this blonde boy. A kid's painting depicting him is hanging on the wall over Jordan's bed. Olivia invited not only Jordan's best friend, but also many other kids to her son's birthday party. When all of them showed up, she realized that one guest came uninvited. Can you spot the intruder? Look at this girl wearing a witch outfit. She was definitely going to a Halloween party. How did she end up at Jordan's birthday party? She was an alien. When it was time to bring in Jordan's birthday cake, Olivia was horrified. The cake was missing. The kids were all together and didn't leave the playroom, so it must be one of the parents who took the cake. Olivia switched on detective mode and soon understood who the thief was. Can you figure it out too? It's this granny. Look at her blouse, that dark stain. Isn't it chocolate? She's the one who took the cake. Hey, we should introduce her to the grandpa who took the orange teddy bear. What do you think? At first, Olivia panicked, but luckily, she found the solution fast enough. She called the nearest bakery and ordered another cake. They said they would send one immediately and asked her to pick a delivery person. Look at these 3 delivery people and select the most trustworthy. This guy on the left has a cast on his arm. Not very convenient for riding a bike, is it? The girl on the left seems fine, but look at her bike. The front tire is flat. So the man in the middle seems to be the safest bet. The party is over and Jordan is happy. He wants to count all the presents he's got. But they're all over the place. Look at the room very carefully and try to spot all the gifts. One, 2, 3. Well, these are easy to find. 4. It's under the bed. 5 and 6. One is on the armchair and the other is under the pillow on the bed. And finally, 7. It's hiding on top of the wardrobe. Jordan is now old enough to start studying French, and Olivia is looking for a tutor for her boy. Look at these 3 professionals and help the woman pick the best one. Look at this lady on the right. Her t-shirt has the Eiffel Tower and the word France on it, but the name of the country is written incorrectly. It should be spelled like this. What teacher doesn't know this? The man in the middle has a police badge on his shirt pocket. He must be a police officer. What is he even doing here? So the best and only option is this young girl on the left. Merci beaucoup.
3 cats can catch 3 mice in 3 minutes. How long will it take 10 cats to catch 10 mice? The same 3 minutes. No more, no less. There are 100 books on the shelf. To count off 10 of them, you need 10 seconds. How much time will you spend counting off 80 books? Just 20 seconds. You'll need this time to count off 20 books, and the rest will make 80. Smart, right? Even when it passes in front of the sun, it doesn't cast a shadow. What is it? It's the wind. Now let's get down to some serious stuff. Someone stole the money Michael kept in his safe. After watching the security footage, the police figured out that it had happened at midnight. They questioned 3 suspects. Hannah said she'd gone to bed at 10 p.m. and fallen asleep right away. Liam told the detective he'd been watching TV from 11:45 p.m. to 1 a.m. And Aiden said he'd been with his friends, partying all night. The police arrested the thief. Who was it? It was Liam. He was suspiciously specific about the time. A man came to a jewelry store planning to buy an expensive diamond ring for his wife, but someone stole his wallet right in the store. The manager called the police and asked all the visitors who were inside at the time to stay until the officer's arrival. The police arrived and examined the people attentively. Soon, they knew who had taken the wallet. Can you figure it out too? It's the man in the middle. He has a bandage on his right arm, but it's wrapped over the sleeve of his jacket, not hidden under it like a real bandage would be. Detective Theodore Mitchell worked undercover at a luxurious resort. The police suspected that the hotel owners were involved in some shady deals. Theodore's main task was to sneak into the manager's office and check the documents. But the door was locked, and there was a combination lock. Theodore had to solve a math riddle, and the answer would be the code. As soon as he punched in the code, the door opened. What was the correct number? The code was 30. There are no mathematical symbols at the end of the first and second lines. It means the whole thing looks like this. A police officer knocks on the door. A man opens it. The officer informs the man that a plant pot fell out of his window an hour ago and hit a woman on the head. She's not badly hurt, but now the man needs to compensate this woman for the damage. The man lets the officer inside, but argues that the situation can't be true. He claims that his windows were closed an hour ago because he has just returned home. The officer knows that the man is lying. How has he figured it out? The police officer spotted a pan with boiling water in the kitchen. If the man indeed came home just a few minutes ago, the water wouldn't have had enough time to start boiling. 3 men were swimming in the sea. The weather was getting worse, and a coast guard asked them to leave the water. But when they got back to the shore, only 2 of the men had wet hair. Why? The third man was bald. A gust of wind blew a $100 bill out of the hands of a grocery store owner. The money seemed to have vanished into thin air. But in reality, one of the customers must have taken the bill. But no one wanted to admit to stealing the money. The woman was especially indignant and suggested that her bag should be checked. A security guard asked her to follow him to the office, but she refused to go. After that, the guard called the police. Why? The woman was standing on the $100 bill. If she followed the guard, everyone would see the money. A man found himself on an island inhabited by a tribe of savages. The tribespeople locked him in a house with only 2 exits. One of the doors led to freedom, while the other led to demise. 2 guards were in the house with him. One of them always told the truth and the other always lied. The man was allowed to ask only one question to one of them. Of course, he didn't know which of them was the honest person and which one was the liar. What question should he ask to find the correct exit and save his life? The question he should ask is, what would your companion say if I asked which door leads to freedom? No matter who he asks, the answer will always be the wrong door. So, he should open the opposite door. It'll lead to freedom. One day, posters were put up in one of Prague's main squares. They read, "Beware of pickpockets." The local police knew that there were indeed many pickpockets in the area, but they actively tore down these posters. Why? There were many tourists in this square. The pickpockets themselves put up these posters. This made their job easier. People who read the announcement would instinctively check their valuables to make sure they were still there. At that moment, the thieves would watch them and figure out exactly where their targets kept their belongings. The police, realizing this trick, tore down the posters to prevent people from unknowingly helping the thieves rob them. Mary lived in a luxurious mansion. One day, she discovered that all her jewelry had mysteriously disappeared. The police arrived at the crime scene and realized that the theft had occurred very recently. They questioned 4 people who were in the house at the time of the incident. The gardener said he'd been tending the flower beds in the garden all morning. His hands were covered in green and brown stains from plants and soil. The builder claimed he'd been working in the yard, repairing the fence. His hands had splinters and small scratches. Mary's niece stated that she had been swimming in the pool all morning. And the maid said she had been cleaning the windows, so she was still wearing silicone gloves. The detective asked everyone to show their hands and immediately realized who was lying. Who is the thief? The niece. If she had really been in the pool all morning, her fingers would have been wrinkled. Elijah went on a cruise. On the 3rd day, he noticed that one of the staff members was an imposter. Look at them attentively and try to guess who it is. This waitress is actually hiding a police badge under her floral garland. She must be undercover. A precious 16th century brooch has been stolen from its glass display case in a museum. The only person who has entered it is the cleaning lady, Mrs. Douglas, who's been working there for 20 years. After examining the crime scene, the detective, who has come to investigate the case, arrests Mrs. Douglas. Why? Mrs. Douglas's habit let her down. After breaking the display case and taking the brooch, she carefully cleaned up the glass shards. A very famous painting disappeared from a museum. Later, the police managed to find it, but there was a problem. They found not 1, but 3 paintings. Only one of them is original. The others are just copies. Can you help the police figure out which is the original painting? It's the one with the brown frame. Take a look. All frames in the museum are made in the same style. You were traveling through Egypt, got lost from your group, and ended up in an ancient pyramid. 3 passageways lie before you. The first leads to a room filled with gold. The second is hidden behind a stone slab with an image of the sun. And the third one leads you to a dark tunnel with a chilling breeze. Which pathway leads you to safety? Here's a tip. You should follow the beliefs of ancient Egyptians. You should pick the second path. The Egyptians believed in the power of the sun, so perhaps that's your safest choice. It's your first date with an archaeologist. He takes you to an ancient site and shows you the inscriptions marked on the wall of an old sacred site. You notice there are several numbers on the wall that form a sequence: 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. But the other numbers are blurred. He asks you if you can figure out which numbers come next. Can you? The numbers that follow would be 13, 17, 19. This is a sequence of prime numbers, which can only be divided by 1 and themselves. A team of archaeologists discover 2 statues in an ancient city, but after a few studies, they uncover that one is a fake. One of the statues is made of marble, and the other is made of bronze. Both look flawless and untouched by time. Can you tell which one is fake? It's the bronze one. Real ancient bronze statues end up a bit greenish due to oxidation. So if this statue looks brand new, it means it's fake. It's quiz night and the theme is ancient Egypt. To win $100, you need to answer correctly. How many husbands did Cleopatra have during her life? 1, 3, or 4? It's believed she was married 3 times. Her first 2 husbands were her brothers, and the last was the famous Mark Antony. You're walking deep within the desert in Egypt when you come across an ancient building with 3 sand pits in front of it. Each pit contains a half-buried object. The inscriptions on the wall warn you that only the pharaoh's gift will open the door to the temple. You see a golden scarab on the first pit, an ancient staff with the sun emblem on the second, and a stone Ankh tablet on the last one. Which sacred object should you pick? The ancient staff. That's because the golden scarab is a symbol of wealth, but it was often placed in tombs as an offering to the ones who passed away. The Ankh represents life, but sacred stone symbols in tombs were often part of protective magic. Touching them could trigger a curse. The sun plus the staff were symbols of power and authority of the great pharaohs. A time machine takes you back to ancient Rome. When you arrive at the door of an old temple, the guardian of the temple gives you a vase with the equation ix plus xi equals what written on it. It's your task to figure out the result. What's the answer, genius? The answer is XX, or 20 in our language. IX in Roman numerals stands for 9, while XI is 11, so the total sum is 20. You're at your best friend's house. She's a mystic and believes in the power of symbols. She asks for your help to choose the logo of her new company, based on ancient Egyptian beliefs. She asks you if she should pick a star, the moon, or the sun. What do you think she should pick? To have a prosperous business, she should pick the sun. In ancient Egypt, the sun represented the deity Ra. The sun represents vitality, warmth, light, and prosperity. You're doing your master's in ancient Greece, so you take a semester to go abroad and study the culture closely. One night, during a fancy dinner party, a professor challenges you. She makes you choose 1 out of 3 cups. The first cup is labeled with the symbol Psi, and it's a drink used in sacred rituals. The second is O, and it's the drink of rulers and kings. The last is L and contains river water that leads to oblivion. Which cup should you choose to gain more wisdom for your masters? The first one. The Greek letter psi is a symbol often associated to the psyche, which can probably reveal great things about one's inner world. Your archaeology group decides to explore a long-sealed resting place. When you enter the main chamber, you discover an inscription that says that whoever touches the serpent's sign shall know eternal sleep. What must you avoid touching in this place, explorer? Well, you should never touch the cobra symbol. In ancient Egypt, the cobra was a protector of the pharaoh, but was also associated with some pretty hardcore curses. This term's history test is filled with questions on ancient civilizations. To get an A+, you need to answer this one correctly. Which of the following monuments was built first? The ancient Sphinx, the Tower of Babel, or Machu Picchu? The Great Sphinx of Giza. It dates back to around 2500 BCE. The Tower of Babel is mentioned in ancient texts, but has no confirmed historical date. And Machu Picchu was built much later, around the 15th century CE by the Inca civilization. Your crazy scientist friend let you use his time machine, but it was led by an AI that made you answer a question before using it. It told you that to travel to ancient Egypt, you needed to know which of these things the Egyptians weren't masters of: architecture, mathematics, astronomy, or golf. Can you guess? It's golf, of course. Ancient Egyptians were master builders and mathematicians. They were also readers of the sky, but they hadn't figured out golf yet. You find yourself in Crete for a family vacation. You decide to explore an ancient labyrinth, and you come to an intersection. The first path is marked by a bull's head. The second is carved with a spiraling seashell. And the third leads to an open doorway, but there's smoke coming out of it. Which path should you choose? The second one. In ancient Greece, the civilization of the Minoans revered the sea. The spiral pattern represents life, eternity, and spiritual energy. So I bet that's the way you should go. You were watching a movie with your friends about the Great Sphinx of Giza when you spotted some serious factual mistakes. The movie said that the Sphinx lost its nose after a heavy thunderstorm, but you know that it's not sure. You ask your friends to pick one of the most popular myths regarding the Sphinx's ripped nose, asking them if it was either Napoleon's doing or an angry man's fault. Which of these is the correct answer? One of the biggest myths says it was Napoleon who destroyed the Sphinx's nose. Your favorite barista is feeling funny today and asks you to answer a history buff question. If you had to travel back in time and choose the civilization that built their cities first, who would you choose? The Mayas in Mexico, the Mesopotamians in the Middle East, or the Romans in Europe? Since you're a genius, you said the Mesopotamians. The first city they built was called Eridu, and it was built around 5500 BCE. Your archaeology teacher asks you to go to the public library to find a rare document. You ended up finding an old inscription talking about a ruler named Augustus. Based on his name, do you think he belonged to the Mayan civilization, the Minoans, or the Romans? He belongs to the Romans. Augustus was the first emperor of Rome, genius. Your friend accidentally time travels to an ancient city where people are speaking Latin. To find them and bring them back, you need to figure out where they are. On the top of your mind, You think it can be Athens, Rome, or ancient Babylon. Which city do you look at first? Rome. Latin was the language of the Romans. Brady, Jeff, and Tom set off on a 60-mile road trip, but they each had different car speeds and stopping rules. Brady's car goes 120 miles per hour, but must stop for 10 minutes every 20 miles. Jeff's electric car moves at a steady 60 miles per hour without stopping. Tom's car reaches 90 miles per hour, but needs one 15-minute stop. Who arrives first at their final stop? To crack this, you should divide the total amount of miles per the maximum speed each car reaches. Then add the brake times. The order of arrival is Brady, Tom, and Jeff. On a Sunday, Peter and Jacob decided to take their kids to play in the park. Judging by the picture, can you tell which father is more reckless? In the first image, we see a little boy on the beach, playing near the water. His dad is in the background talking to a couple of women. In the second pic, the little boy is playing catch with a not-so-friendly dog. But hey, his dad is in the background paying close attention. It's safe to say the dad on the first pic is more reckless. Harry arrived at the campsite and needed to use a flashlight to set up. His flashlight needed 2 batteries to turn on, and Harry had 8 batteries. 4 batteries were charged, 4 weren't, and he had no idea which was which. What's the minimum number of tries he needs to light the flashlight? He should divide it into 3 groups, 2 groups of 3 and 1 of 2. For the group of 3 batteries, it will take 3 attempts, and for the group with 2 batteries, it takes 1 attempt. So minimum, he needs 7 attempts. Brianna, Mandy, and Sarah booked a women's retreat in Mexico. They each got assigned different rooms at the hotel, according to their astrological signs. But the hotel receptionist mixed up the keys and distributed them randomly. What is the probability that at least one of them got the correct key? There's a 2 out of 3 chance that one of them got the right key. In this edition of Thriving and Surviving, 3 girls were stuck in cages, fighting for their lives. The blonde girl in the first cage has a huge anaconda hanging from above her head. The redhead in the second cage has electrical wire dangling from above. And the third cage, with the brunette, was made of glass, and the scorching sun was already heating the air inside the cage to unbearable levels. Which one of them has the best chance at surviving? The blonde. Anacondas are huge, but they aren't poisonous. Their saliva is harmless to humans, even if their bites might hurt. You finally said yes to that date with Chad, the barista. That's when he tells you the most absurd story. Every day, a customer comes by his cafe and asks him to pour a cup of coffee. Then the customer asks him to add 10 ml of milk to it, stir everything together, and pour 10 ml of the mixture out of the cup. Chad asks you, in the end, is there more milk in the coffee or coffee in the milk? Can you guess? Bizarrely, the amount of milk and coffee are the same. It's Gemma's first day at her new job. She moved to Los Angeles to start work at this entertainment company, and everything is new to her. As soon as she arrived, the intern led her to the boss's office for a briefing. Look at the picture. Can you tell who Emma's boss is? I know he looks pretty young, but it's the guy on the left. His blazer is on the boss's chair. Sam was on his way to training when he passed through a bus stop. He saw three people that called his attention. The quarterback of his team who was late for practice, an elderly woman who needed help, and the girl Sam had a crush on. Since Sam had a two-seater car, what could he do to help everyone in this situation? He could help the elderly woman into his car and ask the quarterback to drive her to the hospital before going to practice. Then, he could take the bus with his crush all the way to school. You walk into a diner and there are two very suspicious clients indoors, and one of them is actually a criminal. Who is it? The first guy looks suspicious, especially since he's holding a defensive device. The second girl looks more innocent. She's just sitting holding a knife and cutting her salad with it. But hey, she's the guilty one. That huge knife is too big and too sharp for cutting a salad, and it's got a silky red stain on it. Aubrey gets home after a day of work and turns on the TV. Breaking news, everyone! A dangerous criminal has escaped from prison, and now he's walking around Aubrey's neighborhood. Suddenly, the doorbell rings. Aubrey checks her camera and sees two people standing on her porch. Both say that they're delivery guys, but one of them is the famous runaway criminal. Can you guess who? The guy on the left. He has a gasoline tank in his hand, and if you look behind him, you can see he just set fire to a house. Tucker went out for dinner with his friend Lanny, who works in IT. Lanny always had the best riddles and asked Tucker, why did his IT department recently hire a spider? Can you figure it out? Because it was a great web designer. Duh! It was Lisa's first week on her new internship. Her super cool boss texted her saying to look for a woman named Bobby. Since he was super busy, Bobby was supposed to give Lisa the details of her next assignment. The thing is, Lisa had no idea who Bobby was. Take a look at the office. Can you help Lisa find Bobby? Look at that woman right there. She's got a necklace with the initial B on it. And plus, her badge says Bobby. It's safe to say that's her right there. Dan and Jesse are detectives. Early one morning, they get an urgent call. They get into their vehicle and drive to the location. On the way, they get stopped by a police checkpoint. Dan and Jesse had to get out of the vehicle for an inspection, but Dan noticed something strange. That cop was a fake. How could he tell? The cop was wearing a ripped shirt, but that was not the real issue. His badge said City Police with a U instead of an O. Saul woke up in an empty room. The room had nothing but 3 paintings hanging on the wall. She also noticed that the door was locked with a super technological code system. Saul figured that she needed to use the pictures on the wall as clues. Can you figure out what the 3-letter code is? The code is SUN. All 3 frames are related to the sun. Jenny is moving to Canada. Her bags are packed and she's ready to leave the house. But on her way out, she noticed she was forgetting a few pretty important things. She needs to find her passport, her phone, and the note with the address of her hotel. Can you help her find these items? Could Jenny be any messier? Her phone is thrown on the floor next to the couch. The note is tucked in between a couple of books on her shelf. and her passport is next to the center table's feet. Yikes! Mandy was on one of her usual runs through Central Park when she saw an adorable corgi. She asked the owner how old the corgi was, and she got a weird answer. The owner said that in 2 years, Luna would be twice as old as she was 5 years ago. Did you understand how old the dog was? Luna is 12 years old. I've heard you've got some impressive analytical skills and a sharp mind. Then you're just the person I need. Help me solve these tricky riddles and prove you're worthy of that detective title. A Japanese ship had left the port and was on its way to the open sea. The captain went to apply oil to some parts of the vessel and took his wedding ring off so it wouldn't get damaged. He left it on the table in his cabin. When he returned, the ring was gone. The man figured out that 3 crew members could be guilty. So he asked each of them what they had been doing for the past 10 minutes. The cook said, "I was in the kitchen preparing tonight's dinner." The engineer answered, "I was working in the engine room making sure everything was running smoothly." And the seaman said, "I was on the mast correcting the flag because someone had hung it upside down by mistake." The captain immediately knew who the thief was. How did he understand it? It was clearly the seaman. It was a Japanese ship, and the Japanese flag is white with a single red dot in the middle. It can't be hung upside down. Cheryl was reading a book, but she was careless and accidentally tore out pages 7, 8, 100, 101, 133, and 334. How many pages will she have to fix? Just 4. 7 and 8, as well as 333 and 334, are just different sides of one page. A folder with extremely important documents disappeared from Detective Brown's office. At the time of the theft, there were only 4 other people in the office: Bill, Tom, Harry, and Mike. Brown interrogated them, and they gave the following statements. Bill said, "Tom did it." Tom denied this claim. Bill did it. Harry said, "Tom's telling the truth." And Mike confirmed, "Harry's not lying." After analyzing these statements, Detective Brown found out that only one person was telling the truth, and the rest were lying. Can you determine the thief? Tom is the thief, and Bill tells the truth. If Bill was the thief, both Tom and Harry would be telling the truth. If Harry was the criminal, none of the statements would be true. And if Mike was the thief, none of the statements would be true either. Your friends complain that every day they have an egg spinning competition with only raw eggs, and every day one particular boy wins. Your friends ask you to find out how he manages to do it. You start observing the boy spinning an egg when suddenly it drops to the floor. The boy goes and takes a broom to clean it up, as if it happens every day. You immediately understand why the boy always wins the daily competition. What's his secret? The boy took a broom, so the egg he had been spinning must have been hard-boiled. If the egg had been raw, he would have taken a mop. A man was discovered unconscious at his desk, alone in the locked office. He was rushed to a hospital, and the police started investigating this case. The only clue was a sealed envelope on the man's desk. Have you figured out what happened? The envelope glue contained poison, and when the man licked the envelope to seal it, he got poisoned. A renowned chemist disappeared right from his lab. There was no evidence except a piece of paper lying on his desk. The names of 5 elements were scrawled across it hastily: nickel, carbon, oxygen, lanthanum, and sulfur. The guards reported that 3 people had visited the chemist that day: his sister Laura, his colleague Nicholas, and his wife Tessa. The criminal was arrested immediately. Who was it? The list of chemicals is a clue. Their abbreviations spell out the name Nicholas. Look at these ladies attentively. Can you figure out who's not pregnant? It's the one wearing a green dress. This person has big feet and is wearing a wig. It's actually a man trying to steal a watermelon. That's why he dressed up as a pregnant woman. Each of these 3 women claims she is this boy's mother. But who is the real mom? The real mother is wearing clothes in the same colors as her son's outfit. What a cute family look! Plus, the boy is facing her. Someone stole the principal's money. When the police came to investigate, they questioned the most likely suspects. The PE teacher said he had had a break. The history teacher was having a lesson, and the music teacher said that she felt unwell and had gone home early. Can you figure out who the thief is? The music teacher is the thief. Look, she has gloves in her bag, although it's summer. Suspicious. Look at these 3 men and a girl. The first man says, "I got so scared, I called the school, but they didn't know where my daughter was." The second man says, "We were walking the dog in the park. I turned my back just for a minute, and she was gone." And the third man says, "I have no idea why she ran away. Here, I bought you a new phone." Which man is the real father? The second man is the father. The girl is too young to attend school or have a phone of her own. Someone stole important documents from a businessman's office when the power went out. When the man discovered this unpleasant news, he called his friend, a private detective. The detective arrived and questioned everyone who had been in the office during the crime. The first person said, "I left the office to get some coffee and donuts." The second employee claimed that it had been dark and she'd taken a nap. And the third worker said, "I went to the kitchen to get a latte from our new coffee machine." Who's the thief? The third person's a liar. He wouldn't have been able to use a coffee machine without electricity. The man had lost his memory, and while each of these 3 women claim she's his wife, he can't figure out who's telling the truth. Can you help him? The man and his real wife have matching rings. Look at these 3 bridesmaids. One of them is up to no good. She has spoiled the bride's dress. Can you figure out which one it was? The bridesmaid who had ripped the dress must be left-handed because all the rips were made with a left hand. Pay attention to their placement and direction. And this is the only left-handed maid. She's writing down some notes using her left hand. At 9 a.m., Ethan got a call from his friend, an owner of a large business. The man said that a very important document had disappeared from his office. It had been on his desk the evening before, but now it was nowhere to be found. Ethan immediately came there to question his friend's employees. Soon he had 3 suspects. Walter said he had spent the previous evening at the movies. Joan had dinner with her friends, and Zachary visited an art gallery. It didn't take Ethan long to understand who is lying. Have you figured it out too? It was Walter. His ticket isn't torn. It means he didn't enter the movie theater. Olivia called the police. She told them someone had broken into her house, tied her up, and taken all her money and valuables. When the officers arrived, the entrance door was open. And Olivia was indeed tied to a chair, and still, the detectives didn't believe her story. Why? If the girl was tied, how did she manage to call the police? You take it and throw away its outside. Then you cook the inside. Then you eat the outside and throw away the inside. What is it? You've just eaten a corn cob. Jake is a very rich guy. He lives in a mansion with a gardener, a cook, and a housemaid. One day he goes on a business trip and returns 2 days later. Oh no! Someone put a huge coffee stain on his exclusive white sofa. Jake gets furious and interrogates his staff. The housemaid says, "Yesterday I had a day off, so I spent it outside the mansion. As for today, I cleaned the living room first, and then I focused on the bathrooms, and the sofa was fine." The gardener says,
"Yesterday, new plants were delivered. I was very busy planting 6 palm trees in front of the house, so I didn't have the chance to chill indoors."
And the cook says,
"I was trying new recipes in the kitchen and filming vlogs for my subscribers. I never hang out in your living room, sir."
Who's lying? It's the gardener. There's no palms in front of Jake's mansion. Jake goes hiking alone. He's in the middle of a dark forest. Suddenly, a witch appears in front of him. She casts a spell and teleports Jake to her cabin. The witch offers him a deal.
The only chance to escape is to drink one of my 3 potions. If you guess it right, you're free to go. If not, you'll be my prisoner forever.
Can you figure out which potion Jake should drink? Take a closer look at the emojis that imply the potion ingredients. If we write out the first letters of each ingredient, we'll get sleep, escape, and blind. So, Jake should pick the second potion. Jake drinks the potion and teleports to a desert island. There's only 1 coconut tree and 1 banana tree, but Jake can only eat from one of them. Which tree should he choose? The coconut tree. It can provide both food and water, while the banana tree only provides food. Thankfully, Jake sees a boat passing by. It's filled with people. Jake rubs his eyes and takes a look again. The boat is still there, but Jake doesn't see a single person on it. Why? Because all the people are married. The boat takes Jake to the nearest town. There are 4 people standing on the pier. One of them is a cop working undercover. Can you guess who? It's this guy in a sports suit. There are cuffs sticking out of his pocket. Jake is walking down a black street. He's wearing all black. Black shoes, socks, trousers, coat, gloves, and balaclava. All the street lamps are off.
A black car is coming towards Jake and its headlights are turned off. How did the driver see Jake? It's daytime. Jake is starving, so he decides to go check out the local bakery and purchase some snacks. The price for one cherry donut is 50 cents, and one apple donut costs $2. They also have lemon donuts. The price is $1.50 per item. Can you calculate the price for one blueberry donut? To solve this mystery, we should remember the color sequence in the rainbow. The price increases by 50 cents from red to purple. So the price for one purple donut is $3.50. Jake's mother wants him to get married as soon as possible. That's why she arranges a blind date for him. The lady's name is Karen. Today, they're meeting for lunch. This is the first time Jake and Karen are going to meet in person, and they haven't seen any pictures of each other. Karen texts Jake, "I'll wear gold hoop earrings." Jake arrives at the restaurant. There are 3 ladies. All of them are wearing gold hoops. Can you help Jake find his Karen? Let's take a look at the second table. There are 2 dinner servings and cutlery for 2 people. This lady is already with someone. The third lady has already drunk half of her milkshake, and she's busy working on her laptop. She's not here for a date, so Karen is the first lady. The next morning, Jake arrives at his office. There's a huge gift box on his desk. The sender is unknown. Only 3 people are in the office today: Mia, Prudence, and Paul. Jake questions them. Mia says, "I was preparing and printing some documents for you. We have a great business deal to sign." Paul says, "My alarm didn't work today. I overslept and just arrived. I don't know who brought the gift." And Prudence says, "I don't know who did it. I was trying to fix the printer, but it won't work. Someone broke it yesterday." Who's lying? Mia printed the documents for Jake this morning, and she's holding them in her hands. Therefore, Prudence is lying. Jake takes 2 pictures of his office room. Take your time and try to spot 10 differences between them. Ready to see the answer? Here they are. He's in the middle of a creepy abandoned village in the woods. It starts raining heavily. Jake finds an old cabin and hides inside it. Jake wanders around for a while and finds 3 doors leading outside. But each path hides some dangers. There's a huge fire behind the first door. There are wild animals waiting behind the second door. And the third passage is filled with toxic gas. Humans can't survive after breathing it in. Can you help Jake choose the right door? The first one. It's been raining heavily in the woods, and the door's leading outside the house, so the fire was gone a long time ago. Jake checks the maps. Karen's place is nearby, so he decides to walk. On the way, he finds 3 bushes with different herbs. Yay! I can collect some of them to put in tea! But only one of these herbs is actually safe. Can you guess which one? The first herb caused a rash on Jake's hand, and the third one looks pretty stinky. So he should take the second one. Finally, Jake arrives at Karen's house. She shows him around. Can you spot 3 emojis hidden in her living room? Here they are. Then, Jake goes to the bathroom to wash his hands. Can you find 3 hidden emojis here? Hello! And finally, Jake lands in the kitchen. There are 3 emojis here. Can you see them? There you go. Karen is cooking dinner. She asks Jake to go to the storage room to get one last ingredient. But instead of saying directly, she gives him this weird shopping list. Can you help Jake figure out the ingredient? The number implies the letter we should pick out of each word. The encrypted word is pepper. And now let's take a look at the color of the note. It's written with a red marker. Therefore, Jake needs to get a red pepper. Karen picks some flowers in her garden and puts them in a vase on her table. Can you find the correct shadow? The third one. What about this necklace? Can you spot the correct shadow? The first one is the perfect match. Let's see if you can find a shadow that belongs to this book. The fourth option is correct. Jake turns on the TV news. Airport security guards got an urgent report. One of the passengers came back to the country with a stolen ancient treasure from Paris. The guards initiated a check. The mysterious passenger blended into the crowd, but they managed to find 4 suspects. Jake spots the thief right away. What about you? All we know about the thief is that he arrived from Paris. Therefore, the stickers on the suitcase can be helpful. Several guys have stickers with Paris, but take a look at this guy's suitcase. The Parisian sticker is on top of the others, so he's the thief.
Becky attended her high school reunion last weekend.
Hello!
All of her friends seem to be doing really well in life. Connor showed up wearing clothes from expensive brands.
Hello!
Matilda had not just 1 but 2 of the latest smartphones.
Oh!
Tom showed up in a fancy sports car, and Beth was wearing a luxurious watch on her wrist. Take a good look at Becky's friends. Can you tell who is really rich? Well, let's see. If you look closely, Connor didn't take off the tags from his clothes. This probably means that he's planning on returning them after the reunion.
Yeah.
Matilda's phones are fake. Look at the label. It's just a copy of the original brand.
Ah!
And Beth's watch is way bigger than her wrist, which means that the watch is not really hers. So, Tom is probably the richest person at the reunion.
Oh, yeah.
Amy's favorite band is in town, and she really wants to go to their concert. She asks her stepmother if she can go, but she says she will only allow Amy to go if she does a series of things for her.
Oh!
The first thing the stepmother asks is for Amy to bring her some water in a colander. To get this right, Amy needs to think outside the box.
Okay.
Can you help Amy figure out how she can do that? Amy needs to freeze some water and put the cubes in the colander.
Yeah.
Technically, frozen water is still water, right? Next, her stepmother asks Amy to pick out the perfect evening dress for her. Amy walks into her stepmother's closet, and there are 3 dresses, a red, a green, and a blue. Take a look at the picture. Which dress should Amy choose? If you look closely, the button on the blue dress is about to come off. The green dress has a big paint stain on it, so Amy should pick the red dress.
Yes!
Before Amy can take the dress to her stepmother, the woman enters the room. She sees the stain on the dress and starts to shout at Amy, "How could you do this to my dress?" But Amy says she didn't do anything wrong, and that the paint was already there when she walked into the closet.
Yes!
The stepmother asks Amy to find the culprit.
Oh,
If she could figure out who had stained her dress, then Amy could go to the concert.
okay.
The three main suspects are Amy's stepsisters, Ella, Bella, and Gabriella.
What?
They don't like Amy, so it's likely that one of them splashed paint on their mother's dress in order to frame her. When the stepsisters are out of the house, Amy sneaks into their bedroom to try to find the culprit. Take a look at the room. The first bed belongs to Ella, the second belongs to Bella, and the third bed belongs to Gabriella. Can you tell who did it? It was Gabriella. Her bed is the third one on the left. And if you look closely, it has a bucket of paint under it. Emily and Barbara are getting ready for a girls' night out.
Yes!
They are putting on makeup and getting their hair done. They have pretty similar tastes, and their things look pretty much the same. But one of them has more money than the other.
Oh,
Looking at the image, can you tell which one has the more expensive stuff? Take a look at Barbara. Her dress kind of gives it away since it's obviously a knockoff. So Emily is the one with the more expensive stuff. Harry decided to backpack around the world on his own.
yeah.
On the plane, he sat next to a girl. He asked her where she was from.
Yes.
But instead of answering, she showed him 2 emojis on her cell phone.
Oh,
Take a look at the image. Can you tell which country the girl is from? Let's see. That's an iron and a piece of land. I guess she's from Ireland? As soon as Harry landed in Paris, he went strolling along the streets to find a place to stay. He found a cute little hotel and decided to go inside. Big mistake. Why? Take a look at the window on the last floor. It looks like there's a ghost. Yikes. I'd look for another place to stay if I were him. After he found a better hotel to stay in, he decided to get lunch. He ordered the classic French onion soup.
yeah.
But when his dish came, it was filled with cockroaches. He called the restaurant's manager to tell them about the incident. The manager said, "This is unacceptable. I will find the person who did this and fire them immediately." There were 3 suspects. The cook said that he had prepared the soup as usual. It was okay when he passed it to the waiter. The waiter said that he hadn't touched the soup. He just served it to Harry and hurried to take the order from another table. The manager also questioned the cleaner, who said that he had spent the last hours cleaning the bathroom and had no idea what the fuss was about. Can you tell who is guilty? No one. Look at the ventilation system. It's full of roaches. They must have crawled out of it and fallen into Harry's soup. Yikes. There are 3 passengers in the business class of an international flight that is headed towards Rome. Take a look at these 3 people. The first lady looks pretty well dressed. She's wearing a luxurious designer handbag and is texting on her expensive phone.
Hello.
The guy in the middle is working with stock charts on his laptop, and the third guy is enjoying a cup of coffee while reading an article in the Financial Times. Can you tell which one is the real billionaire? Let's see. The woman may look well dressed, but if you see the tag on her clothes, it says 100% polyester. It's unlikely that a billionaire would wear something like this. The guy working with stock charts is wearing old, ripped shoes. I doubt that's a fashion choice, so he's probably not a billionaire.
Oh.
That leaves us the last guy. If you look closely, the article he is reading is about him. The title of the article is The World's Newest Billionaire.
Oh, yeah.
I guess we found our guy, huh? Detective Smith was called to investigate a burglary at the city's museum.
Oh.
A priceless diamond disappeared, and the thief left no trace behind. After analyzing the museum's security cameras, Detective Smith gathered 3 suspects: the security guard, the museum's curator, and a visitor. The security guard said he only left his post during lunchtime, and he could swear that the diamond still wasn't missing at that time. The museum curator spent the day guiding a tour of the museum for a foreign group. They came to see the diamond at the beginning of the tour, and it was still shining bright in its place. The visitor said he only popped in for a quick visit and didn't even pass through the Metzi aisle where the diamond was kept. After these 3 interviews, Detective Smith found the thief. Can you tell who it was? It was the visitor. First of all, he knew the exact location of the diamond inside the museum. Plus, take a look at that string he's fiddling with in his left hand. Detective Smith pulled it from under his sleeve and voila, the diamond was attached to it. I guess he didn't have time to go home and get rid of the diamond, huh? Julie and her friends decided to spend the weekend at a cabin in the woods. They arrived on Friday evening and spent the night playing board games and telling spooky stories. When they woke up on Saturday morning, they found that someone had stolen all their food supply. The door's glass was shattered, but other than that, there were no signs of who could have done it. So the group decided to search the surrounding woods to see if they could find the culprit. Take a good look at the scene the group stumbled upon and see if you can find out who took their food. What's that at the left corner? Those look like bear footprints, huh? And not just one, but rather an entire family of bears. Oh, and they even left an Oreo wrapper on the ground as evidence. Yep, these grizzlies were the culprits for sure. Atlas woke up in the attic of an abandoned house. He tried to find a way out of the house, but all he could find was a room with 3 doors. Each door hid a different danger. The windows and floor behind the first door were made entirely of magnifying glass, which meant that the sunlight would probably burn him if he entered. The second door hid a room full of poisonous gas, and behind the third door was a hungry lion. What should Atlas do to escape? He should wait until it's nighttime and use the first door. Sydney told her mom that her gymnastics team would go to a sports camp for the weekend. She asked her mom to help her pack a bag for the trip. Her mother packed everything she thought her daughter would need. When Sydney came back from the weekend, she was telling her mother all about the trip. But somewhere during the conversation, she asked her mother why she hadn't packed a toothbrush. The mother immediately knew Sydney was lying about where she had really been that weekend. How? Because Sydney's mother did pack a toothbrush, but she put it under Sydney's gymnastics clothes. If Sydney had really gone camping, she would have used the clothes and found the toothbrush. Kimberly discovered 3 bags in an old attic along with a note. The note said that there were $1 million inside one of the bags. It also said that the 2 other bags were empty. She only had one chance to figure out which bag had the cash, and she could trust that one of the messages written on the bags was true. On the first bag, it said, "The cash is not here." On the second bag, it was written, "The cash is not here." The last bag read, "The cash is in the second bag." If you were Kimberly, which bag would you choose? You should choose the first bag. If only one of the clues is true, then the money is in the first bag. The police have been after Mr. Burke for many years, trying to prove he's involved in illicit activities, but they never managed to catch him. One day, Detective Lawrence decided to make a surprise visit to Mr. Burke's office. As soon as the detective arrived, Mr. Burke's secretary said he was away on a business trip. The detective asked to see Mr. Burke's office and took a picture of it, but he wasn't allowed to touch anything without a warrant. So, Detective Lawrence went back to the station and got a warrant. When he returned to Mr. Burke's office, he noticed someone had been in there. Take a look at both pictures and try to find out what Detective Lawrence saw. The desk lamp is tilted and the books are in different places. Someone definitely was in that room. Detective Lawrence decided to search Mr. Burke's entire office. In one room, he found there were footprints up until the middle of the room, and then they disappeared. The only window of the room was open. "Oh no!" Detective Lawrence shouted. "I can't believe he escaped again." He took a picture of the room and took it to the police station. At the station, he showed the picture to the other detectives, and one of them said he had cracked the case. Take a look at the picture. How did the detective solve the case? The detective understood that Mr. Burke was a shapeshifter. This explains why the footprints didn't reach the window. Plus, look at all the bird food on the floor. He probably shapeshifted into a bird and escaped.
So, Smarty Pants, are you ready for some detective work? Great, because I happen to have some right here. Gee, what a coincidence. Let's go! You drop a bowling ball in a bucket of water which is 45 degrees Fahrenheit. And you also drop another ball of the same weight, mass, and size in a bucket at 30 degrees Fahrenheit. If you do it at the same time, which ball will hit the bottom of the bucket first? The ball in the bucket of the 45-degree water will hit the bottom of the bucket later than the other ball. Did you think that the water had to be frozen at 30 degrees Fahrenheit? But the riddle says nothing about that bucket having anything in it. Therefore, there is no water or ice to slow the ball down. Sam is talking to his lawyer in jail. They're very upset because the judge has refused to grant bail. At the end of the conversation, Sam is allowed to leave the jail. Why? Sam is visiting his lawyer, who was arrested and jailed. Time to look for another lawyer. Mary is the owner of a bag store. One day, a young woman came in. She wanted to buy a bag. After choosing the one she liked, she asked Mary how much it was. The price was $30. The girl asked Mary to sell it for $20, and the store owner agreed. The girl gave her $50. Mary didn't have any change, so she went to her friend who worked nearby to change the bill. The friend gave Mary two $20 bills and one $10 bill. The woman gave the customer $30 and put the remaining $20 in the cash register. Just a few minutes after the buyer left, Mary's friend rushed into the store. "The bill you gave me is fake. I need my money back." Mary gave her friend her own $50. How much money did the store owner lose in total? For one thing, Mary sold the bag at a $10 discount, so she already lost this money. Then she gave the girl $30 in change, and she had to return $50 to her friend for the fake bill. One $20 bill was the one her friend had given her, so she had to add $30 of her own. In total, she lost $70. Wow, next time use a credit card, huh? Private Detective Deborah was doing some shopping at the mall. Suddenly, she heard people arguing. The woman went there and saw a stressed shop assistant and several people crowding him. The poor man had found a smartphone and made an announcement, and now several people claimed it was their phone. One man said the phone must have slipped out of his bag. A young woman said the gadget belonged to her, and an older woman shouted it was her husband's device. That's when the phone rang. For some reason, the shop assistant handed it to Deborah. The woman glanced at the screen and immediately gave the phone to the man. How did she understand whose device it was? Deborah saw the word wife written on the screen. Jenny heard about a private party which was supposed to be VIP. Celebrities and influencers were going to attend it. And guess what? Thanks to one of her friends, Jenny managed to get on the guest list.
Yay!
Before the party, the girl bought a new dress and a pretty and expensive purse. At the party, Jenny got acquainted with a very nice young man called David. They were talking when someone pushed Jenny. She didn't fall over only thanks to David's fast reaction, but she noticed that her purse was gone.
No.
David rushed to catch the thief. He spotted a guy hanging around the entrance. "What are you doing here?" The man answered that he was looking for an ATM. He needed cash to buy a ticket for the party. David told the man to hand Jenny's purse over or he would call the police. How did he understand the man was the thief? This is an A-list event. You can't just buy a ticket to get there. This man is lying. The faster you run, the harder it is to catch this thing. What is it? It's your breath. Brandon's wife told him to cook several eggs, but the man had to boil them for exactly 2 minutes. She left her husband 3 hourglass timers for 3, 4, and 5 minutes. How can the man boil the eggs for exactly 2 minutes? Brandon waited until the water started to boil. Then he turned over the 3 and 5 minute timers. When the 3-minute timer ran out, he dropped the eggs into the water. And when the 5-minute timer ran out, he had his perfectly boiled eggs. Sometimes I am loved, usually by the young. Other times I am dreaded, mostly by the old ones. I'm hard to remember, also hard to forget. And yet, if you do, you'll make someone upset. I occur every day. Everyone has to face me. Even if you don't want it to happen, embrace me. What am I? A birthday. It's thin, but when water splashes it, none seeps through. When hit, it changes color. It covers an incredibly complex thing, yet it's very easy to flex. What is it? It's human skin. Look at these people. Can you figure out which one is a smuggler? It's the woman on the left. The lady on this right is really pregnant. She's just wearing a wig. But the shape of the belly of the woman on the left is weird, to say the least. One of these people stole some Pringles. Can you figure out who it was? It's this young lady. Look at her ponytail. A very strange shape. Doesn't it resemble a pack of Pringles? Now, I've got this group of people for you. One of them is a vampire. Can you figure out who it is? It's this guy sitting on the right. Have you noticed that he has no shadow? A farmer is traveling with a fox, a sheep, and a small sack of hay. He comes to a river. There's a small boat near the shore. The boat can only support the farmer and one other animal or item. If the farmer leaves the fox alone with the sheep, the fox will eat the sheep. And if the farmer leaves the sheep alone with the hay, the sheep will eat the hay. How can the farmer get all three, as well as himself, safely across the river? The farmer should take the sheep across the river. Then he should paddle back. Then he will take the fox across the river. After that, the farmer should take the sheep back to the first side of the river. Then the farmer should leave the sheep on the first side of the river and take the hay to the other side, because it's safe to leave the hay with the fox. The farmer will then return to the first side of the river and pick up the sheep. The morning after a heavy snowfall, Justin went outside and saw there was twice as much snow on the top of his garage as there was on his neighbor's. Still, Justin didn't get surprised or upset. He just smiled and continued walking. Why? Justin's garage is twice as big as his neighbor's. No wonder it has twice as much snow. Andrew and Gary are twins. They were born just 1 minute apart, and Andrew is the elder of the two. But for some mysterious reason, they celebrate their birthdays 2 days apart once every several years. How is this possible? Andrew was born at 11:59 p.m. on February 28th. It wasn't a leap year, so Gary, who appeared just 1 minute later, was already born on March 1st. That's why during leap years, they have 2 days between their birthdays. Look at these mirrors and say which one is magical. It's the one the girl in the middle is holding. Apparently, it helped her to get rid of her mole. Two men are playing chess. They've already played 5 games, and each man has won 3 of them. How is it possible? The men are playing with different opponents, not with each other.
Detective Brightbrain was sitting in his office when his phone rang. Richard Brooks, a jeweler, said he had just been robbed. Brightbrain arrived immediately at the boutique, and Mr. Brooks explained what happened.
I spent the entire morning showing diamond rings to a gentleman in a gray suit. He was extremely polite and knew a lot about diamonds. When I looked down to grab the store's most expensive ring, I felt someone hit me on the head. I fell forward, and when I woke up, the guy was gone.
Brightbrain didn't ask any more questions. Instead, he wrote a report saying Mr. Brooks wasn't robbed. He was actually faking the whole thing. Take a look at the scene. How did Brightbrain come to that conclusion? If Mr. Brooks fell forward, the weight of his body would have broken the glass counter in front of him. And look, there's not even a scratch. The next day, Brightbrain was driving to work when he got hit by a red Chevrolet. The guy got away pretty fast, but the detective managed to see the car's license plate began with 62. Back at the office, Brightbrain tracked down the possible owner of the vehicle, Mr. Neander. The detective arrived at Mr. Neander's house together with the police and immediately saw a red Chevrolet with a 62 license plate in the yard, but there weren't any signs of a collision. Brightbrain interrogated the subject, but Mr. Neander said,
I swear it wasn't me. I haven't left the house in 2 days, and I can't use my car because I lost the keys a week ago.
Brightbrain approached the vehicle and leaned on the hood of the car to peep inside. He immediately said, I know you're lying. How was Brightbrain so sure? The detective tried the simplest way to detect whether a car had been recently used. He checked the temperature of the motor. As the hood was still warm, this showed that Mr. Neander was lying. During the month of December, a gang of robbers was operating in Bentonville. They walked dressed up as Santa Claus and broke into houses through chimneys. They put valuable goods into their Santa bags and walked straight out the door. When the neighbors saw them, they thought they were the real Santa. Finally, the police caught the entire gang. However, one of them claimed he was the real Santa and shouldn't be convicted for crimes he didn't commit. Detective Brightbrain was called to handle the case because he had seen the real Santa once when he was still a little child. He recalled that Santa was medium height. He was wearing a coat with 6 buttons, and there was a pocket on the right. He also said that Santa's belt buckle was square. Take a look at the footage from the police station. Can you figure out who the real Santa is? It's the second one on the right. He fits all of Brightbrain's descriptions. It was raining when Bright Brain decided to drive down to the gym. Halfway there, a woman stopped his car asking for help. She said someone had just bumped into her car and drove away. When the detective took a look around, the only person next to the place of the incident was a man fixing his tire. The lady said that was the car that bumped into hers, but when Bright Brain went to talk to the man, he said it couldn't be true because he was busy fixing his car the whole time. Can you tell who's lying? It's the guy fixing his car. The rain just recently started, which means that if he was fixing his car the whole time, the ground underneath it would have been dry. But look, it's wet. This means he's just arrived there and was actually the one responsible for the incident. The next day, Bright Brain left his girlfriend's house directly to his office building. He was late for work, so he ignored several stop signs along the way. A police car passed by him exactly at the moment he was turning the wrong way onto a one-way street, but the officers didn't arrest him. Why? Because the detective was walking, not driving a car. Duh! Around 8 in the morning the next day, Detective Brightbrain was on his way to get coffee when he saw a robbery happen. A masked person ran off with a woman's wallet. The detective ran after the thief and saw him entering a coffee shop. When Brightbrain went inside, he searched for the thief but couldn't find them. The person had taken their mask off. He told the coffee shop owner that one of their clients was a thief, and the owner closed down the shop so that the detective could question the people there. The first person he interrogated was Allie. She said she had been in the coffee shop for the last 3 hours, working on her laptop. Brian said he had just come inside to get an espresso to go. Catherine said she had just started eating her breakfast and didn't see anything suspicious going on. Lastly, he interrogated John, the coffee shop owner. He said he opened the shop at 7 a.m. and hadn't left the place since then. Brightbrain knew immediately who had done it. Can you guess who it was? It was Allie. She said she'd been in the shop for the past 3 hours, but the shop had just opened at 7 o'clock. At his office, Brightbrain received a strange text message from his workmate, Harry. The text said, "Zucchini is in the fridge. Otherwise, I'm fine. Okay?" The weird text made the detective think there was a message hidden inside. After a few minutes, he found a hidden word in the message. Can you guess what it was? If you pay attention closely, the first letter of each line can be mixed together to form the word zoo. Quickly, Brightbrain grabbed his things and drove to the local zoo. He arrived at the zoo and immediately saw the entrance to a secret passageway. The passageway led him to a network of underground tunnels. At the entrance to the first tunnel, there were venomous rats. At the entrance to the second tunnel, there was an explosive about to go off in 5 minutes. And at the entrance to the last tunnel, there was toxic gas. Which tunnel should he choose? The second one, of course. He can pass through the tunnel after the explosive goes off. At the end of the tunnel, he found himself in a dark room. As soon as he entered, the door locked behind him and he was stuck. The room was empty except for another door at the other end of the room. That door was sealed with a letter combination lock. There was a slip of paper with the following hint written on it: P plus 3, N minus 1, B minus 1, N plus 4, S plus 1. What's the code word? It took Brightbrain a while to figure it out, but he was able to crack the code. The code word was SMART. The key to this riddle was hidden in the alphabet. P plus its 3 following letters is S. N minus 1 letter is M, and so on. Phew, the door opened and led him to another room where he finally met Harry. Bright Brain untied his workmate and told him he was going to get them out of that situation. But when he looked around, he noticed they were standing at the bottom of a very deep well. Looking up, they could see the clear blue sky, but it looked like there was no way out. The detective felt soil falling onto their heads, and he feared they were going to be buried in mud. Luckily, in an hour, both men made it out of the well alive. How did they manage to get out? They managed to tamp down the soil that was falling into the well. This way, they would get closer and closer to the surface until they managed to jump out and run away. That's it for Bright Brain's adventure today. That was a lot! Hello there, Brightsiders! These riddles are gonna be a bit different than usual. No witches, detectives, or whatever. Let's go! Take a look at this pic. On the left, you've got a set of words. They're not linked to each other in any way. On the right, you've got a set of weirdly shaped geometrical objects. Your task is to match each word to the corresponding objects. Alrighty, let's see the answers. Voila! Let me break it down for you. It's necessary to look for external similarities between words and pictures. This is called word recognition. We recognize words as a whole, not by individual letters. Easier to spot spelling errors. That's why we can read abbreviations. We recognize familiar words even if letters are missing. Next one. You gotta use your math skills here. So, in front of you lies a whole treasure. 10 bags, each of which contains 1,000 coins. 9 sacks contain real gold coins, and 1 contains extremely fake ones. A real gold coin weighs 5 grams, while a fake one weighs 4 grams. How to determine in one weighing on the scales which of the bags contains fake coins? The scales are accurate, but there is only one approach to them. Here's the right approach. We take 1 coin from the first bag, 2 from the second, 3 from the third, and so on, up to 10 coins. Weigh these 55 coins. Gold coins could weigh 275 grams. If 1 gram is missing, then fake coins are in the first bag. If 2 grams are missing, then fake coins are in the second bag, and so on. It's curious that this task is easily scalable. The number of bags is not important. At least 3, at least 1,000, everything is solved by 1 weighing. This riddle got pretty viral on TikTok, but in case you missed it, you can try to solve it right now. He claims that according to the FBI, if you solve this riddle, you're smart enough to become a special agent. So, a man and a woman go out to dinner on their first date. The evening is very hot, and they bring water with ice. The woman is terribly thirsty, and she drinks 3 glasses in 1 gulp. A man drinks 1 glass in small sips throughout the evening. Later, he writes to her that he suddenly became ill. Weakness, dizziness, breathing problems. At midnight, he passes away. The police call the woman in for questioning and announce that there was poison in her glass and in the man's glass. It was poison, so why did the man get poisoned and the woman not? I'm sure you already guessed the poison was in the ice. The woman drank so fast that the ice cubes had no time to melt, so the poison had no effect on her. The man drank slowly and the ice melted, so he swallowed poisonous water. I guess pretty much any Brightsider can become a special agent. Now, look at this picture. Keep in mind that it's not that simple and only 1% of people can figure out what's wrong with this image. Hey, look closer. The woman in the red dress on the right doesn't have an umbrella, but she doesn't get wet. 2 coins are worth 30 cents. One of them is not 5 cents. What are these coins? This one was easy, 25 cents and 5 cents. One coin is not 5 cents, but the second is 5 cents. Look at this picture closely because the riddle is all about your attention. Now tell me, what time is in the picture? To make it a little bit easier, I'm going to give you a couple of options. A, it's 5 a.m. B, it's 11 a.m. C, it's 7 a.m. Take a look at the long shadows and the snow lying on the cars and the burning lanterns. Well, I guess it's 7 o'clock in the morning in the picture. Look at the picture. Do you spot anything weird here? The shipping deck seems to be way too slim. Seems like it was built after the ship had arrived at the port. Allison is quite a picky eater. She likes grapes, but she can't stand peaches. She's into squash, but she never eats carrots. So now you have to figure out what Allison prefers, pumpkins or apples. This girl may be finicky, but she does have some logic. She only eats things that grow on vines, so she's gonna prefer pumpkins over apples. There's a clerk at the butcher shop. He's 6 feet tall and he wears size 13 sneakers. What does he weigh? Of course, it's meat. There's a word in the English language in which the first 2 letters signify a male, the first 3 letters signify a female, the first 4 letters signify a great man, and the whole word means a great woman. Can you guess this word? It's the word heroine. A hen and a half lays an egg and a half in a day and a half. How many eggs does one hen lay in one day? Yeah, it's pretty hard to think of a hen and a half. As for an egg and a half, I can only imagine it in a cooked form. 1.5 days is the easiest criterion here. So, with all the given information, it must be that one hen would lay 1 egg in the same time period. 1.5 days. But if one hen lays 1 egg in 1.5 days, it means that one hen would lay only 2/3 of an egg in one day. So the answer is 2/3 of an egg. A young man wants to have it, but when he grows up, he no longer wants it. He attacks it with a blade in his hands, but it's always in vain. What is it? It's a beard. Hey, I've got a riddle rhyme for you. I'm rather large and usually majestic. I'm every hue of the rainbow. I can eat you. I may heat you. You only wish you could see me. What am I? It's a dragon. The last but not the least. Get ready. This one's gonna be pretty long. Carl's 2 grandmothers want to see him every weekend, but they live on the opposite sides of town. Not to offend any of the grannies, he tells them that every Sunday he'll head to the subway station nearest to his apartment at a random time of the day and will hop on the next train that arrives. If it happens to be the train traveling north, he'll visit his grandma Erica uptown. And if it happens to be the train traveling south, he'll visit his grandma Liz downtown. Both of his grandmothers are okay with this plan, since they both know the northbound and southbound trains run every 20 minutes. But after a few months of doing this, Grandma Liz complains that she sees him only 1 out of 5 Sundays. Carl claims he chooses a random time each day. How can this be? Keep in mind that the trains always arrive at their scheduled times. Although both trains come exactly every 20 minutes, the timing matters a lot. Let's imagine the northbound train comes on the hour, on the 20, and on the 40. So at 8, 8:20, 8:40, 9, etc. Now let's suppose the southbound train comes on the 4, 24, and 44. So 8:04, 8:24, 8:44, 9:04, etc. This means in any hour, there will be only 12 minutes in which the southbound train will be the next train to arrive. So, if Carl arrives between 8 and 8:04, between 8:20 and 8:24, or between 8:40 and 8:44, he'll get on the southbound train. Otherwise, he'll get on the northbound train. But as Carl always comes at a random time, and the southbound train supposedly arrives after the northbound trains, Carl gets to see his grandma Liz pretty rarely.
A. Meet Mark Silver. He's a famous space detective who flies around galaxies figuring out the toughest cosmic crimes. Today, you're on a mission to help him. A rare artifact was stolen from a base on Mars. Mark is on the case and he has 3 suspects. All of them claim they've never been to Mars. Look at them attentively and try to figure out who might be the criminal. Look at the man. The soles of his boots are dusted with red, and Mars is often called the Red Planet because of the color of its soil. So the man must have lied about never having visited Mars. Suspicious. Mark is sent on a mission to a planet where all the inhabitants look different. When a group of locals meets him at a spaceport, he realizes that one of them is an imposter. Who is it? It's this creature with 8 arms and tentacles instead of legs. See that zipper on the left side? It must be someone else, maybe even a human, wearing a costume to disguise itself as a local. Maria, an astronaut's wife, has come to Mark because she thinks her husband is lying to her. A week ago, he told her he would fly to Jupiter to deliver rose petals to a local community. He even sent her a few photos when he arrived there. But Maria has some doubts. After examining the photos, Mark confirms the girl's suspicions. Her husband isn't on Jupiter. How did he understand it? Look at these rings behind Maria's husband's back. Only one planet in our solar system has such large, prominent rings. And that's not Jupiter, but Saturn. Once Mark was piloting a spacecraft, yeah, he can do that too, when he realized he was running out of fuel. He checked the nearest planets where he could get some fuel. The first one was freezing cold, the temperatures were insanely low. The second was boiling hot, so hot that even metals would melt there. And the third planet was super acidic. Which is the safest option to get some fuel? Mark should opt for the first planet. He'll be inside his spacecraft, so the cold won't harm him. As for extremely high temperatures and acids, well, they can easily damage his spaceship. The leader of a mission on a distant planet asked Mark to come and help him figure out one tricky case. He has 3 newcomers, and he suspects that one of them is an imposter and hasn't come from Earth. Can you help Mark understand which astronaut isn't human? The man in the middle might look like a human, but he isn't wearing a helmet. It means he's not from Earth. But that's not all. Look at the woman on the right. Her oxygen tank isn't connected to her helmet. She isn't human either. Mark arrived at the moon because someone had been stealing astronauts' belongings from a lunar base on the far side of the satellite. After investigating the case, Mark ended up with 3 suspects. Julia told him she had been working in the lab all the time. Hannah told him she had seen someone's footprints circling around the base, but later they had disappeared. The wind must have covered them with sand. And Lucas explained he had been busy with software repair. Who is the criminal? Well, the moon has no atmosphere. That's why there's no air or wind that could lead to erosion. That's why footprints couldn't have vanished. So, Hannah is lying. Why? Astronaut Kenny was on a spacewalk when he found out that his safety tether wasn't connected to the spacecraft. Luckily, Kenny managed to survive and get back to the ship. There, he contacted Mark Silver, claiming that it was his crew member, Margaret, who had disconnected the tether. When Mark arrived, he questioned Margaret, but she denied her involvement. She even claimed that she heard Kenny's cries and rushed to save him. Mark didn't believe her and detained her right away. Why? Space is silent since there's no air or atmosphere to carry sound waves. Even if Kenny had been shouting, no one would have heard him. Space pirates once captured Mark and locked him in a cargo compartment. The door has a password lock. To get out, Mark needs to remember what the biggest planet in the solar system is. He has 3 choices: Saturn with its rings, gas giant Jupiter, and ice giant Neptune. Could you help him choose? Well, Jupiter is the biggest planet in the solar system. In fact, it's so big, it has more mass than all the other planets combined. Mark's friends came back from vacation and started sharing their experiences. Pete said that he had climbed an ultra-tall volcano on Mars. Daniel was happy that he had seen the Great Red Spot on Jupiter. And Thomas was super excited because he had managed to swim in a lake on Saturn's largest moon, Titan. Mark understood right away that one of his friends was lying. Who was it? It was Thomas. Even though Titan has lakes on its surface, they're filled with methane. You can't swim in them. Look at this picture attentively and help Detective Silver figure out what's wrong with it. This landscape definitely looks like the surface of the moon. But then, what is there in the sky? One space body is obviously Earth, but the other looks like another moon. One day, an insurance agent visited Mark Silver. She was almost sure that one of her clients wanted to commit insurance fraud. Apparently, he claimed that his spaceship was pulled into a white hole while he managed to escape using an emergency pod. Detective Silver agreed to help the agent since he immediately realized why the claim was fake. Have you figured it out yet? Well, it's black holes that swallow everything that comes too close. At the same time, white holes expel matter and energy. So a white hole wouldn't be able to pull inside a spaceship or any other object. One day, Mark was on vacation on a distant planet in a faraway galaxy. He was floating in a glass pod over a sea of blue lava when he spotted an object in the sky. It was getting bigger and bigger. Mark had 3 ideas about what it could be: a comet, a black hole, or a rogue planet. Could you help him figure out what this space intruder is? Well, it can't be a comet since comets have long tails. It's also unlikely to be a black hole since they are invisible to the unaided eye. So, it's probably a rogue planet once kicked out of its home system and now wandering the universe. Mark was visiting his friend on his spaceship and accidentally locked himself in his room. To get out of it, he needs to solve a riddle. There are several buttons near the door. Each of them has a planet on it. Mark needs to press the button with the planet that is unique. Do you know which one it is? Mark needs to press the button depicting Uranus. It's the only planet that spins on its side. Now, Mark wants you to crack a few riddles on your own. Look at this picture. This girl has just landed on the moon. Can you spot two weird things that make this adventure seem fake? First, the girl isn't wearing a helmet, but on the moon, it's impossible to breathe without it. And secondly, the wind is blowing her hair, but there's no wind on Earth's natural satellite. Now look at the planets of the solar system and say if everything is fine with them. Uh-oh. It seems Jupiter and Saturn have switched their places. And finally, the last general knowledge challenge for you. Which planet had its status taken away almost 2 decades ago? Proxima Centauri b, Pluto, Uranus. Well, it was poor Pluto. In 2006, it was reclassified into a dwarf planet, after being considered the 9th planet for a long time.